Let me ask you a question. Is this nominal or ordinal?
Not satisfied, excellent, and satisfied.
This is nominal.
It can be
This is
ordered.
nominal.
It can
No,
be
this
ordered.
is not in order, na? It is nominal. It is not in order.
Anybody saying this is ordinal?
If
It can
it
be
is
arranged
ordered,
in a
it can be
sequence.
ordered. So
It can be ordered like.
yeah, it can
Yeah,
be
it can be ordered. Yeah.
Why? Why it is an ordinal?
because there's a sequence like not satisfied and then extremely satisfied. That is
So
an order.
let's consider इसको change कर देते हैं extremely satisfied कर देते हैं. Ordinal or nominal?
Ordinal.
Is it ordinal or nominal? What do you think?
Ordinal.
It is ordinal.
It is ordinal.
I think it's I don't know, sir. It's not in sequence. I don't know.
Yes.
Not a sequence, but there is an
It
order.
can be sequence. It can be. So it is
Yes.
ordinal.
Okay.
For me, it will be nominal. I'm not sure.
It is. Let me tell you.
Nominal only.
So there is
Nominal.
It is nominal because it is not in a sequence. It is not in
Oh,
order
okay.
because after not satisfied, it should be satisfied and then extremely satisfied. Okay.
Okay, so what you are showing here, that order we are considering to say nominal or ordinal. I thought that since we can reorganize it, so it can become an ordinal then, right?
Right. So
Simar,
Yes.
I want to ask a question. So in case of the first example, Monday versus Tuesday versus Wednesday, we can see that the gap between subsequent days is 1. So in that case, it is ordinal. If I say instead of that Monday versus Tuesday versus Thursday, so in that case also it be ordinal because the gap between two subsequent
Yes.
is not the same.
okay, here what we've considered is where we all know that the week start from a Monday. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why it's not the gap that we've taken into consideration because universally we say the week start from a Monday. Okay, and that's why we consider it an ordinal. And the difference between ordinal and nominal is that if it's as per the standard or is as per any uniformity, we say that it's a kind of an order. Then we say it's a ordinal. But if we are giving any sort of value, which still makes sense, like if I have different departments, if I have different products, different centers, then I consider it as a nominal. So it is not as per the gap. So for example, if it would have been Monday versus, so you have only Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Okay. In this particular case, you have, since you know the day start from a Monday, then you could have called it as a ordinal. But in case of you have Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Sunday, if you are capturing this sort of a data, if you want to do this kind of an analysis, then in that case, it becomes a, okay. There are different tests for different times, and that's why I request you to put yourself on mute.
So next to mute.
Okay, so I was saying,
Simar, I have a doubt here. So the same example, like not satisfied, extremely satisfied, and satisfied. Because if you just consider each of the value as for consideration, there's still a relationship between the other two, and which is in a straight order. Of course, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Sunday cannot be ordered, but if there is a certain value which depends on the other one, let's say satisfied, it is of course more than not satisfied, or extremely satisfied is higher than the satisfaction value. So I still see that the ordinality has been maintained, even though you have written 1 in the mid. So like why still we consider it as nominal?
okay, how can you say that the ordinarity has been maintained here?
Not in the order, like you're just not, let's say I'm collecting a sample. Let's say I'm collecting a sample that let's say for the HR process or the sales process, we are going to consider the CSAT, and we will be trying to increase the CSAT score. So not satisfied, extremely satisfied, and satisfied, and this kind of if values I have, this can be maintained in certain order, though it has been jumbled, but we can still
Yeah,
put.
yeah. I got it where you're coming from. So what she's asking is, you're absolutely right. It is just, I've just did it intentionally to make you understand. Although in a case of a customer satisfaction score, it would always be in a sequence. Okay, it would always be, we know the gravity that not satisfied is customer who are very who are not liking the product and services. Satisfied are okay, and extremely satisfied are very happy, who are going to promote our products. Okay, we know it is always in a sequence. Whenever this kind of a data that you have, it is always ordinal, but just intentionally I have made it like this so that you understand whether it is ordinal or nominal. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
So it would always be, so when we have this kind of a data, when you have customer satisfaction data, wherein you have satisfied, very satisfied, and very satisfied, you would always have ordinal. But I've intentionally written in such a way to understand whether you can interpret it or not. But in all the situations when you have customer satisfaction data, it would always consider as a ordinal. Okay.
So Simar, if we have got, let's say, an ordinal data, the data which is in order, and we take a random sampling from it, so will the nature of data change, or
Okay, so
it will be just, sorry?
Okay, I got your question. So
Okay.
when we, very good question that you asked. We will discuss this in the sampling exercise that we have. Okay, we will talk about in the sampling exercise because we have a discussion around that also. But I want everybody to understand the types of data, the difference between the discrete and continuous. Okay. The difference between the types of discrete data we have, whether it's a binary, whether it's a count, whether it's ordinal, nominal, and percentage. Because if I know the difference between all of these, I would be able to apply the right amount of test, because each of these could have different types of tests to be done in the analyze phase, in the control phase, in the improve phase. So that's why for ordinal, there's a different test. For nominal, it's a different test. For percentage, it's a different test. Okay. For count, it's a different test. So that's why we want to make it, we want to be very clear about it, that what is the discrete or continuous. Now coming back on the question which a couple of people asked, okay, which I want you to be clear. So let's say you have cycle time ka data, and you say, you see your current problem is 50 minutes. Then average, you take 50 minutes, your company take 50 minutes to deliver one service or one product to the customer place. That's and you want to reduce it to 30 minutes. Okay. So that's your target. And currently your net your current time is you taking 50 minutes. Your defect is 20 minutes. Okay. So which means this is a continuous data, but I can convert. If I have this opportunity in hand, I can right now in the beginning of the define phase can decide whether I'll be taking the discrete data or a continuous data. How you can convert this into discrete? So instead of 50 minutes, I can say, I will try to improve the defects maybe from 20% to 5%. Okay. Or maybe I would improve the cycle time net percentage from 30% to 40%. So it's up to you. It's up to you on which you want to do the project on. Okay. Another example is, let's say you have numbers here. You have met, not met, and total. So you have 100 met, 50 not met, and you have 150. Okay. This is your, so you can do a project on improving the not met percentage also. So currently your not met percentage is 33%. Okay, and you can take a project to improve it to 50%. Or if you want to do a project on improving the cycle time, you can improve it from 50 minutes to 30. It's up to you that how you want to do this project on. You can convert, but if you are converting, if you have looked at the data in such a way, then it becomes a continuous. If you have looked the data in such a way, it becomes a discrete. So it's up to you that how you want to look at this metric. What is the voice of your business? What is the voice of your customer? Whether they want to improve the average from 50 to 30, okay, or whether they want to improve the number of cases. So means they are not concerned about the average. They are concerned that if I receive 100 cases, out of that I should be able to complete 50 cases maybe in 10 minutes, or maybe in half an hour, or maybe in 1 day. So that's what we need to convert your continuous into a discrete. Okay, so that's how you'll be able to look at it that way. So that's what you were asking earlier. Have you understood it? That how we are converting it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, one small you mean to say that okay, not okay, the nominal data will be a bar chart and ordinal data will be an histogram?
You said nominal data could be?
A bar chart. Okay, not okay, we'll make some nice and make the bar chart, right? Sigma, what are the defects on that?
Okay.
And ordinal data will be the histogram.
We will talk about these examples when we do the histogram. I don't want, because there are few people who haven't heard these terms before, because they are pretty new to this subject. So when we talk about histogram, bar charts, we'll discuss this in detail. Okay. We'll talk about which graphical tool that we'll be using at that point in time. But I think now everybody is aware that the same metric can be considered as a discrete and same can be considered as a continuous also. The way we want to look at. Anybody has any questions on discrete versus continuous?
No.
Okay. If you don't have any questions, then I have one question from all of you. So let's say if I am I have a project which is for improving attrition. Okay, I have 50% and I want to reduce it to 30%. What else can I convert this metric into?
Simar, please come again.
So my project metric is attrition, and I'm saying that I have 50% currently and I want to improve it to 30%. What other metric, same in regards to same, that I can look at?
Number of
Yeah,
people
number of people undergoing attrition, so that can be the number.
Yes, absolutely. Number of people that I can look at. So for example, if today 1,000 people are leaving every month, I want to reduce it to maybe 200 or 300. Okay. So it is up to you how you want to look at, whether you want to give a discrete percentage metric, whether you want to give a discrete number metric also. Okay. So we have.
Can we also, like, let's say that instead of taking the number of people, can we also measure it in a continuous data, like the employee satisfaction, let's say?
Employee satisfaction and attrition are two different metrics. Here we are not changing the metric. The metric remains the same.
Oh,
Here also I want the number of people currently are at writing this. So this number of people. My metric remains the same. I'm just changing the unit of measurement here.
Okay.
The different way to look at it.
And let's say we did a black belt project and we found out, okay, the root cause of attrition is employee satisfaction or dissatisfaction. and then we work on the employee satisfaction in our next phase of the make project. Then that will be considered as a
Yes. So for example, if I'm doing a project on improving the attrition, and one of the causes that I've identified in the analyze phase is the employee satisfaction. Okay. So how employee satisfaction is being calculated? What is a unit of measurement? Employee satisfaction percentage, right?
yeah.
It cannot be continuous.
It will be discrete.
It would be discrete, and it would be ordinal, correct? Because your employee satisfaction is I'm very satisfied,
Yeah.
or not satisfied. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
Can anybody, before we go on a break, can anybody think of any example wherein we can convert from continuous to discrete or discrete to continuous? Let's see who can crack this. You can just try, no matter whether your answer is right or wrong, but I would recommend everybody to at least try, say something. Don't think whether it's right or wrong, because these are the situations that you would come across. If you want to become a very successful black belt, I would urge you to keep trying. So anybody can think of any example wherein you would be able to convert the same metric from continuous to discrete or discrete to continuous. Not within discrete, it is discrete to continuous or continuous to discrete.
Simar, I can try. I think the accuracy score, if you're considering DPO as an accuracy score.
Accuracy score is what is a unit of measurement? What do we say?
If you, the first example, it will be in percentage. So it,
So 50% to, let's say you want to move to 80%. Okay.
right. And the
Discrete.
same, yeah, the same can be converted into reducing the number of defects.
But number is also discrete, Anand.
Yeah.
So
Although you've converted it, that's good, very good. But you've done it discrete to discrete, within discrete. Anybody who can think of converting other way around, just think of an example.
so height and weight of a population, we can convert it into BMI.
Absolutely. So height of, so let's say, very hypothetical example, but good one. Height of a equipment, okay, or height of a person. So you're doing a project on improving the height of the team, okay?
Yes.
So let's say if the height is 150 centimeter and you're saying I will do a project, I would ask everybody to do some exercises. I would ask people to take certain diet, okay, which would improve my people health and height as well. So I want to do it. So this is continuous, okay. And you say I would convert into a BMI, but BMI would have your body, other stuff as well. Does it only talk about height, which have the same metric? Wherein you can have a project on improving the height percentage. Okay. So currently there are only 70% people whose height is 180 centimeter. Okay. Now you want 100% people height is to be 180 centimeter. So that is one you can do, because your goal is 180 centimeter, right? And now at the moment only 70% people are at 180 centimeter. So now you want to improve it to 100. So that is how you can convert the same metric. The metric remains the same. Here it is continuous because you can convert centimeter into meter into millimeters, but you can't convert percentage into any other form of it. So that's how you can do it. Is it clear to all of you? Are we good with discrete and continuous? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so let's take a break. It's 9:16, so be back by 9:35, and then we'll talk about the sampling and other stuff, measurement system analysis as well.
Similar, to be short, I can think like the continuous is a data where we can, it is a measurable, and discrete is a countable, right?
Both are measurable. We can also measure discrete data as well.
Countable
see.
means, see, when we measure one data, there will be n number of data that we have to measure, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. If we take okay, not okay, if any product we take, the countable things, 25 products, those things and all comes in discrete data, and where we'll get okay or not okay, that comes into continuous data.
Only way to interpret continuous and discrete data is very simple. Continuous data is a sort of data which would have multiple unit of measurement. You can measure the same thing with different units. Like for example, if you calculate your weight, okay, if you want to calculate your number of days, sorry, not number of days, calculate your weight, calculate your height, calculate the time that you invested in minutes, hours. Discrete is you cannot convert that data into any other form of a unit. If you say number cannot be converted. Number remains number. Okay, percentage remains percentage. Unit of measurement cannot be, but both can be measured. Yeah.